CameronRoberts here from Bubblegum Marketing. Thanks for watching this video. I want to do this video on advertising strategies because a lot of people reach out to my agency, Bubblegum Marketing. We do a lot of media buying, a lot of advertising, and we've created, I don't know, something like $450 million in sales for our clients over the last 10 so years. We've had some big clients to do that, obviously. However, one thing that I know that works really well is cross-channel advertising. A lot of people get stuck with their advertising because their budget is too low. So if someone reaches out to us and says, hey, I want some help with Facebook advertising, for example, and then I ask them, well, what's your daily budget? So I want to spend $20 a day. At $20 a day, you don't need an agency. You need to figure out how to run some boosted posts on Facebook yourself. You hire an agency to do high-level stuff for you, right? The low-level stuff you should be doing yourself. Now, the problem with $20 a day or $50 a day is that you're so far below the average spend on these platforms that you're not going to get the impressions that you need to get. If you don't get the impressions, the platforms don't make any money. They need to make money like you're making money. Now, granted, they make a lot more money than probably what they should, whatever, but they're a business, right? Like your business is in the business of making money. You're in business to turn a profit. Well, so are they. Their goal is to keep people on the platform. They've got a balancing act, if you like, of providing a platform, whether it's Facebook, Google, or the open web, where they can provide a good experience for the users while at the same time giving advertisers the opportunity to buy space on their platform to advertise their products, services, and brands. Now, the biggest problem, if I come back to that daily budget, the biggest problem is that if you're not spending the average on those platforms, you're not going to get the impressions. If you're not going to get the impressions, you're not going to get the traffic. If you're not going to get the traffic, you're not going to get the website sales funnels or conversions that you want to get, or the new customers buying your products. So people always ask me, what should I be spending on these platforms? And my advice is to spend at least the minimum amount of money that everyone else is spending. Otherwise, you're not even average, right? So we get a lot of Google experts. I don't know what they call themselves these days, but they work for Google. And they reach out, Google consultants, whatever, they work for Google. They reach out to us wanting us to optimize our clients' Google Ads account. That's just code for, let me help you spend more money on Google, right? That's what they want to do. And that's cool. There's no problem with that. That's fine. But what happens is, and Facebook does the same. So the Facebook ads consultants, they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, can we work with you on your clients' accounts? You're spending so much money. Can we help you optimize the account, set some goals? What they really want to do is help you spend more money on their platform. That's cool. They're a business, right? However, I will say that both parties, whether they are from Facebook or Google, both parties continually tell us to make sure that our clients are spending at least $120 to $150 a day minimum, because that's the average spend on those platforms. So what that means is if you're not spending around $150 a day on one platform, that's like $4,500 a month. You're not even in the average ballpark, right? So you're not even spending the average. So if you're not even spending the average, you're not going to get seen. Because there's so many people who are spending the average, that's why it's average. Now, there's people that are spending a lot more and brands that are spending a lot more than $4,500 a month, you see. So if you're not spending the average, if you can't commit to the average of $3,000 to $4,500 a month in ad spend, you're not going to get the reach, the impressions, the traffic to your website, and therefore the conversions that you're going to be happy with. It's a real strategy to make sure that when you advertise, that you're ready for advertising, right? Your brand, your company is in a position where you can put 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, depending on the size of your brand, into paid advertising each and every month. Now, what we see is that the brands and companies that go cross-channel, and so what I mean by cross-channel is that they'll be on the open web, and I'll explain what the open web is in a minute. They'll be on social media advertising. They'll be on Google PPC because people will inherently look for their products and services, right, through search engines. They'll be on Microsoft, right, through Bing. So they'll be across 4 or 5 platforms. Now, each of those 4 or 5 platforms will have their own pixel, right, to track the data. And each of those 4 platforms has their own algorithm. And so what their algorithms are doing is they're measuring how many people land on your website, right? Now, if you've got a brand or a company that's using 5 different platforms or 5 different channels to steer traffic all towards one website or one sales funnel, that actually helps the other algorithms and the other channels. So the social media traffic helps the Google traffic helps the open web traffic. And so it becomes this perpetual force where your pixels are feeding each other, information to the other platform's pixels. Now, the beauty of that is that it allows the other platforms to find the audiences really fast because it has so much more data than someone that's just picking one platform, and that one platform has limited data because, yes, you can pixel people if you're just using Facebook advertising, but Facebook advertising can only work with the data from Facebook advertising, right? Whereas if you are running your Facebook ads with your TikTok ads, with your open web ads, with your Google ads, like all of that data is being pulled in a pool, and each of those pixels can read where the people are coming from, who they are, and what they're doing, and and follow them around on the internet. And it's just amazing to watch. When we've done this for our clients that have the adequate budgets, like their cost of leads go down, the cost of conversions go down, the cost of their traffic goes down across all of the platforms, not just one of them. Now, the opposite's also true. When clients reach out and they only want to do one platform, they're stuck. They're stuck on trying to get the cost of leads down, cost of impressions down, cost of conversions down, because the algorithm is only being fed one source of traffic. The summary of all of that: if you want your brand, company, or business to do better with your Facebook advertising, Google advertising, run it all at once, right? So have cross-channel advertising. Now, I spoke about the open web. A lot of people don't do the open web, but you must do the open web. Now, the open web is the web native network. So that's when you go on, other sites, like it could be a travel site or a finance site or a news site, that has millions of followers, like news.com, whatever, or realestate.com, or, something like that. Or it's just some sort of, really high ranking blog site that makes its money from selling its space on its website through ads, right? And that's what happens. And so these massive platforms that generate all of this traffic, through the news articles and the articles that they, publish, and the SEO that they rank for, and their own advertising, they get millions and millions of views each month. Now, on the open web, you can advertise on those platforms. So if you're using brand awareness, and it's typically like display ads, like banners, videos, high engaging, rich media. You can do gamification ads where people can swipe things and click things, and the little thing, mucks around and twirls around and reveals a prize and all that sort of stuff. You can do really rich media on the open web native networks. So if you're doing the web native open web networks, it reaches 96% of the internet use, right? So if you're only using Facebook ads or using Google search ads, you're actually missing out on 96% of the open web, right? So our partnerships of who we partner with in bubblegum marketing allows us to reach those web native networks that most people never even think about, let alone do. So the strategy really is having a percentage of your advertising spend towards the open web to find new audiences and build your brand. That's number one. And that's a big mistake a lot of people do. A lot of people come in and they just want to do the conversions. And great, that's fine, you do the conversions. But again, it goes back to that summary that I made. If you just focus on one channel, on one, strategy, you're not going to get the benefit of, feeding the algorithms the data that they need. So what we recommend is that you do a percentage of your ad spend or your ad budget. You use that for brand awareness. It is so important to do brand awareness. I mean, when you look at companies like Audi, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Apple, IBM, Samsung, all of these companies do brand awareness. Yet there's so many companies and businesses out there that just forget about the brand and want to go for conversions. Well, there's probably a reason why these well-known brands, the Nikes, the Apples, the McDonald's, the Samsungs, those sorts of companies, the Mercedes-Benz, Jeeps, those sorts of companies, they know the power of branding. And so it's important that you have a specific set amount of ad budget set aside each and every month to run your brand awareness campaigns. And your brand awareness campaigns should be run on the open web networks, right? So that's when someone's on a website somewhere, they're not thinking about your product. They're not thinking about a service, but you show up, right? And you've seen those ads. You've seen the ads about, flying and banks and insurance and cars. You've seen those ads on different websites. There's no reason why your brand or your company can't be on those ads as well. So it's really important to have a percentage of your ads budget dedicated towards brand awareness on the open web native networks, right? Using display ads, video ads, rich media, high engaging gamification ads. I mean, we can even put ads in games these days. Gamification ads is different from in-game ads. Gamification ads is like the little things pop and swirl and twirl and do all sorts of cool things. In-game ads is like when people are playing video games and they'll go past a big screen and there's a banner on the big screen. So we can get you in-game as well. But just make sure that the strategy, as I'm getting to, is make sure you've got a percentage of your ad spend on brand awareness, and let's call it 30-40% of your ad spend should be dedicated towards brand awareness. And then you have 30% towards whatever the goal is, traffic and conversions. And then you have another 20 or 30% towards retargeting. And so then you're covering all of the bases, if you like, with your advertising. You're doing some branding for people that have never seen you before. You're doing some call to action and direct response marketing to, based on traffic and conversions to people that maybe do know you, maybe they're on your email list, maybe they're following you on social media, maybe they searched you right on Google or Microsoft. And so you're doing a bit of that, right? And then there's going to be a whole bunch of people that land on your website and don't take action. And that's where the retargeting comes back in, again, back on the web native network and social networks. So it's super important that when you reach out to an agency and you want help with your advertising, you need to make sure that you're comfortable with doing brand awareness, because the brand awareness works with the direct response. The retargeting works with the direct response. It's a 3-part system that you want to create with your paid advertising. So you've got to make sure that you're doing brand awareness. You've got to make sure that you're doing traffic and conversions, right? And you've got to make sure that you're doing retargeting. Now, based on all of that, you can see why when someone comes in and says, I've got $50 a day to spend on advertising, it's just not going to cut it. So that's why that companies, businesses, and brands that spend north of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, they have the money to win the marketing game, right? It's like a competition. It's like a sport, right? It's the one that puts in the most training can win more often. And so if you're not investing the right amount of money with your advertising, you need to do something else. Don't do advertising, right? Go and create content as much as you can, like Gary Vee. But when you want to attract new business and you're serious about it, take my advice, do the 3-step approach, run brand awareness, traffic and conversions, and retargeting. Make sure you've got a significant amount of budget put aside to run those different platforms. Hire a well-oiled, experienced team. I can't tell you the amount of times people say to me, "Oh no, we don't need, advertising. We've got, someone in-house that's doing that." Well, one person in-house cannot get your brand across branding, traffic and conversions, retargeting, do the content marketing, the email marketing, the SMS marketing. That person cannot do all of that successfully, right? What you need to do is you need to bring in specialists for, the advertising part, because those specialists have teams and partnerships with platforms that they can get your, get your brand and business out there in so many different ways, right? So look, that's a wrap. Make sure that you always look at brand awareness, traffic conversions, retargeting across multiple channels of, web native networks, Google, social media. And if you do that and you follow my advice, you will see your cost of impressions go down, your cost of leads come down, and more importantly, you'll see your sales and new customer base increase. Now, if you want help with any of your paid advertising, just Google bubblegum marketing or go to bubblegummarketing.com. That's my agency, and we specialize in ads, automation, and funnels, right? So we can get your brand, business, and company out in the web, social media, Google, wherever you need, and let's have a conversation and find out what you need help with. So head over to bubblegummarketing.com. Let's have a talk about your company or your business and how we can help you attract more leads and convert more clients and build your customer base up using the right advertising strategies for your brand, business, or company.